Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. Welcome to the Joyful Findings Show, where we connect with the highest and greatest for all of humanity. We are creating heaven on earth together. We are all one. We are all love. Embrace the joyful energy as we connect today.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this March 17th, 2021 of the Joyful Findings Show. The energy here today is amazing. I hope you guys are feeling that. And I'm going to have a special guest on with me today. As you can see her lit up in the background over there. And we're going to have fun today. I'm going to call this like show and tell. We are going to show you guys a little clip from this little thing that this little sizzle that Deeia had dreamt up in her book that led into this little sizzle to make it into a show. So let's bring my friend Deeia forward today, and let's all say hello to Deeia Topp.
Hi there.
So glad you could be here today. I am super excited to have you on for this show today and to share this sizzle, okay? Because I got it in probably, you know, when you go to bed and you're in that almost dream state, you're almost asleep or whatever. Well, one night about 3-4 weeks ago, they go, all right, it's time to have Deeia back on again. And it's time to actually bring the little clip on and stop it in different places to explain things, because sometimes they need a little explanation or how we feel about it. And I'm being lit up while I'm talking about this right now. So I want everyone to feel the energy, okay? I want you guys to feel the energy of what you see, of what we talk about. This is about letting go of old programming, and this is allowing you to stand in your highest and best self, okay? And I'm lit up right now, and I'm literally, I mean, you can almost see them on my face, okay? So from head to toe, I am lit up in my goosebumps. So that means the energy coming down is very supportive right now. And they're also thanked me before this show started, thanking me for listening, for doing this. So thank you guys for also listening to your guides, angels, and your higher selves about being here today. Okay, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to point out all the God spirit that is in behind Deeia right now. As you guys could probably see those sun rays beaming down. Okay, so we are in so much support right now. So Deeia, let's start out a little bit, because before we start showing it, we want to wait for people to show up. I just want to say hello, everyone, for showing up. But what brought you to about first writing the book and then wanting to turn it into a TV series?
Well, writing the book was just something that snuck up on me. You know, one of those things that you just kind of comes from your heart and you feel like it's something you need to do. Something I'd never done before, never dreamed of doing before, never even considered in my wildest dreams I would ever do. And mostly, though, back then, it was a lot about stress relief. You know, I was doing some high-end interior design, and writing what I did in the novel was just fun. It was fun, but it was the time when I was starting my spiritual journey, and I was, you know, opening up and awakening to all sorts of new things. So when I look back, the book is really quite naive. It's kind of like a romantic comedy. It's just fun. But the nuggets of information and like the foundation that was laid in that and the characters. Later, then, when I wrote my second book about kind of my spiritual journey and about unconventional truths, then I was shown, just like, you know, you said, in that dream state you're kind of in, meditative state, how it all meshed together. And I was being shown how it all connected to real world events and how then it was going to just keep building and moving on from there. And, you know, now we're working on turning it into a series.
And I'm super excited because actually when you had first started doing this and you sent me the rough draft of the video to just, you know, view. I didn't know I was just supposed to view it. You were just sharing it with me. I was so overtaken by the rough draft people. You guys are seeing more of what it is. And I only saw the rough draft and I'm like, I have to share this. I have to share this now. It was almost like urgent for me to share it immediately. So whether she wanted it out in the public then or not, it was gone. I started sending it to left, right, and everywhere else. You know what I mean? And look, again, lit up. So
there are no coincidences.
no, there is no coincidence.
It was meant to get out. Yeah.
And, you know, if you want anything out there, just give it to me. I'll just put it out there. Okay, people? I'm not afraid to put it out there. Just throw it out there. I'll slingshot it or whatever. So one of the reasons why I feel like they wanted us to bring this on today is because this is also something that we want to create out of new structures rather than old structures, right? This is something I talk about a lot on my show. You know, the old structures are falling, like old Hollywood and stuff like that, where they still try to manipulate you into doing exactly what they want rather than the creator's idea. Like your Deeia Topp, you know, this was your creation, this was your baby, and no one should be telling you, I want it this way, or you should cut that out or whatever, because it you know, it more replicates their truth than your truth. And we're breaking free of that. So we're looking for finances outside of Hollywood, outside of that. And we're looking for new creative people. So again, I'm getting like waves of light. And again, I'm lit up again. So lots of people are going to be listening to this and hearing this. And they're going to be like, yeah, build outside of that. Yes, new structures. You know, so how do you feel about that?
Well, that's exactly what we're doing. We are building outside of the sphere of the old Hollywood influence. And that means that we want to be, you know, bringing truth, things from our heart, open to possibilities, open-minded, you know, where you think about things that instead of it being an agenda or a specific narrative or putting a spin on it to try to make it into predictive programming or, you know, propaganda type of stuff, this is more about truth. This is about storytelling as an art form, you know, sharing from the heart.
You know what it is also sharing the history of what we're creating and going through now, because it's exactly what we're going through, whether people recognize it yet or not, right? Because it's also recording history, even though it's in storytelling mode. If you go back through all the stories that they used to tell back in the day, they were told through the stories year after year. The elders would always tell the story. So that way the story was carried on. Look, I'm being lit up, right? And now it's about us standing in truth and telling that story from the truth standpoint that it has not been told in a very long time. And I feel like that resonates with a lot of people because they won't stop lighting me up today, people. Okay. So, you know, I'm just going to stay here a lit flame today and you guys all feel this. Okay.
The characters are trying to make them really relatable, that, you know, everyday people, that's the one thing kind of we all have in common is we are all going through this awakening process, reawakening or ascension. I mean, there's so many things you can call it, but we all have that in common. We're all experiencing on different levels in different ways. And so each of the characters, they're kind of shaped in ways that show that. You know, they come from different perspectives, and it's not all about us versus them, or you know, it kind of comes to a culmination of, you know, what's inside of us, that divinity within. What are we responsible for cleaning up our own issues and doing our own shadow work? And how does that then reflect out onto society instead of just, you know, blaming it and always thinking it's other people? So it really, I guess I'm trying to make it as big picture as I can, yet it's really relatable by the stories that are told by everyday type of people.
Agreed. And I feel like you tell it from that place, you know what I mean? Because it's like when I first saw the sizzle and I'm like, oh my God, I so relate with this, you know, and so many people can relate with this, you know? So I think that we should probably jump right in, and I'm going to try something new today. So hold with me as I learn this new process. I'm going to learn to share this beautiful film that Deeia has been. So Deeia, while I pull it up and learn how to do this, why don't you tell us how you got these group of people together to pull this sizzle together and all these beautiful souls that all came together? Just a little bit if you want.
I'm in North Idaho, and there's an amazing community here that has cast and crew, Mystery Ridge Movie Ranch. Amanda and Jerry out there are just, you know, they're kind of like building the Field of Dreams, you know, build it and they will come. They build a studio and you've got a green screen, and people locally were excited about the idea. So they were excited to share their locations and allow us to film there. And it just really was a community kind of project that we've put together.
Yay! I love it. All right, so I've actually learned how to pull it up. You guys are you guys ready to see this? Yeah, I'm going to say some hellos first because it's very important. I say my hellos to everybody. Let's see who said hello. Hello, Sam. Glad you could be here today. Today's a little different. Enjoy the show. This is going to be a lot of fun. Catsman69, thank you. Bridget Topp, your niece is here today. Welcome. Your brother Devin is also here. Hello, Devin. Lady Hazel, Dr. Lauren Love, welcome. And we got Linda Hallisey from Maine, and we got another Linda. We got LL. Hello, everybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you guys a little clip from the movie, or the little sizzle. It's only about 6 minutes long, but I'm going to play a part of it, and then I'm going to stop it, and then there's going to be small discussion part about it. Deeya and I will I'll give you whatever I'm feeling, and then I feel like we'll converse about that. And if you guys have any questions at all while this is playing that just come up even randomly and you think it's silly, it's never silly. Put it in the chat box and we will be happy to answer those questions for you, okay? So you guys sit back a little bit and just enjoy the show. And let me know if you can all hear this. Oops, I muted.
Are you seeing clearly? Open your eyes. The devil is in the details.
Do you know that familiar voice in your head? The one that scolds you for being late?
You've got to get up. You're going to be late. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're going to get up. If you don't land this project, you're doomed. You'll have to fire staff, close the business, file for bankruptcy.
You know that voice. The one that prods you to work out. And reminds you to count calories.
Not after the 8 cookies I just ate.
I bet you hear it daily. Do you ever wonder who that incessant voice is? How to make it shut up, and what the heck we're doing in this crazy inverted world anyway?
All right, that's a good place to stop right there, because how many of us out there hear those voices in our head telling us one thing or another, right? Oh, she shouldn't have ate those 8 cookies because that's going to put 80 pounds on her booty now. You know what I mean? So whatever thoughts that you're thinking, right? Who put them in there? Where did they come from? Who taught us that? You know, it's funny because they want me to say this, because before I started this show and before I got on with everyone, they said this will help many people if they are open to it and open up and enjoy and let go of the old programming. What she's talking about right now in this part of that scene is about that programming that's in our head, right? How do you feel about that, Deeya? Does that feel about right?
That feels about right. Some people call it ego. It's predictive programming, societal conditioning. I mean, there's so many different things you can term it. There's so many, if you really want to get into researching all the different levels of programming on an energetic level, spiritual level, I mean, you can do a wealth of, that kind of research and really dig into it. But on the most basic sense, it truly is just about what you said. We all can relate to that inner voice, whether it's telling us to, go work out, or, oh, we shouldn't eat that, or, oh, I look fat in these jeans. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's breaking that negative thought pattern that we have had going on, right? And some of us are still breaking that. You know what I mean? I was still having that conversation in my head last week. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I should have done that, or and so everyone just break free of all that. It's all good. It's all good. All right, let's carry on to the next scene.
It's like you kicked a huge-ass hornet's nest. Now, it's time to find the calm amid the storm. Because the real battle is the one for your mind. I'm guessing that your dreams have become more active, vivid.
I tried to stop it.
Oh, nothing.
So, now that you know you're not sick, your quirky reoccurring symptoms are ascension related. It's up to you whether or not you use this. They know.
Do you go back to dreamland where you're programmed like sheep? Or do you rise up against the system that keeps humanity enslaved? On a planet filled with a myriad of lies and secrets, from what happens in a millionaire's mansion stays in a millionaire's mansion, to who actually controls Earth.
You do know that that woman that you found with her chin bouncing off your boyfriend's balls would rather send clients to Home Depot than to us.
I know. The subversiveness of the Dark Force's global elite power structure is so tightly woven into the fabric of society, it's impossible to not only separate myth from fact, but know who to trust.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to stop again. They wanted me to stop there because what he said in the beginning, the hornet's nest, where everyone has done that right now. I feel like everybody is going through, and if you haven't already, maybe some of you already have. If not, some of you are going through that now, or you've already just gotten over that, because I feel like you had to go through that. Your dreams are becoming more vivid. It is about your ascension symptoms, and it was about the mind control of the government and all these lies and all these truths, right? I mean, we've been talking about this on and off for at least the last year, as these things have been starting to come up for us and showing themselves to us that these things are true. That's why I feel like this show is so important to people, because again, here I am lit up again. I'm just going to stay lit up the whole show. I can't help it. They're just they got like the blow torches on or something. But the energy that's going on through this. So again, if this is bringing up any thoughts, questions that you might have, please don't hesitate to drop those in the chat box, okay? And also what you might be feeling. Does it resonate as truth to you? Let us know what you're feeling, because I wanted to bring this forward for all of you. You know what I mean? Because I know it lights me up and it gets me all excited. You know what I mean? Because it's very true, all these things. And a lot of people are having a lot more vivid dreams lately. A lot of my clients are coming to me and they're like, I've had this really bizarro dream that I would have never had before. And that's, again, that connection to your higher self, bringing that truth through to you in whatever way that you will understand, right? So it's about finding your higher self through all this. So I'm super excited about that. Do you want to add anything to that, Deeia?
No, I mean, there's a lot of information just in that,
I know. It's like,
I know, there really is. People, I think, can relate to this if they're truth seekers, if they're digital warriors, if they're coming to it from that side of it. And I think people can relate to it from a spiritual side. A lot of people who tune into your show who, understand about the DNA activations and that our junk DNA really isn't junk, and that we are becoming more what we were meant to be as humans as we're peeling back all of this programming. Basically, we're deprogramming ourselves and seeking clarity. And in doing that, truth is being exposed. We're rising up not only in our vibration and our frequency, but as well as we're standing up for ourselves. We're standing up. We're standing in our truth. We're speaking our truth. We are no longer, going to allow people to do crappy things to us, whether it is through, bad pharmaceuticals or government or whatever, whatever it is, that's all going to be exposed because we are moving on to a time of peace and prosperity.
And transparency. They keep saying transparency. Yes. Yes.
It's all about transparency, and it really struck me, the lies and secrets. I just went through this situation with this real estate kind of deal that I'm involved in currently. And, I had one real estate person who lied to me, just blatantly. I had another one who asked me to keep a secret and lie, So it's so much of it is in our everyday lives. We all are experiencing it. And if you're just awake enough and aware enough, you can see it on those different levels, whether it's on a truth-seeking level or whether it's more on a more spiritual level. It's really right there staring us in the face if we're willing to take the time and put the effort into seeing it. I guess seeing it is the best word I can come up with.
Yes. Seeing and recognizing it, right? Because you had to have it happen for you to recognize it even in yesterday or today's, we see it in every day. It doesn't matter who we're talking to. There's going to be more of that transparency coming out because we do not consent to lying. We do not consent to not telling the truth. You know what I mean? We're all about love. We're all about truth. And that's what's going to change the world is love and truth, right? Because once all those things that were hidden for so long, and I'm talking you guys, I've been doing this lifetimes. This, not just this lifetime, not just your 50 years or 10 years or 100 years you've been on this plane. This has been going on for many of your lifetimes, for many centuries. So this is about us all gaining that power back and restructuring Earth to be into that pleasant and peaceful place that we've always desired. Again, lit up. Feel the energy, people. This is another place to carry on. Carry on. All right, got to stop here. Y'all, right here. This is your soul self inside your body. I want you all, every single one of you that are watching right now, I want you to picture that beautiful glow coming out of the front of your chest. That is your high heart, and it is expanding out and touching everything. And it's letting go of what no longer serves you because nothing can stand in that light that's not for your highest and best good. So all of you just light up as we carry on.
What you think? These paintings aren't about love, they're about sex and power. Same way that war isn't about oil or religion. It's about portals and who controls the fucking universe.
Okay, another good place to stop. Okay, so because I know portals kind of throw people off sometimes, and okay, so they want me to tell you to picture yourself really in a matrix, right? And there's like these little energy spots that we can get out of, right? Because everything's energy, we're energy. So picture the earth as this energy, right? Because this is very fun. Because I remember one day Deeia called me and she asked me to ask my 5-year-old, who was probably 3 years old at the time, about portals, and he knows nothing about this stuff, or I don't talk about this stuff in front of him, or that was not something that came up in front of me. And one day I go, all right, I'll just ask him. And I asked him and he goes, yeah, it's under the pyramid. I said, okay, so there's one major one under the pyramid out there in Egypt, okay? So these portals are like our little wormholes, gateways to get out and move about, right? Because parts of you guys probably feel like you don't belong here and that you should easily be able to move around on this earth, right? Or move to another dimension if you want to. But it's like it's kind of fun that this is brought up, you know what I mean? So the portals and the dimensions and all that stuff is very fun. Would you like to add anything to that, Deeia?
Well, I think that it's important to kind of recognize that portals can be organic, natural, that were kind of built into Earth's planetary architecture, but they also can be technology, and they can be man-made that is done in a way that is not good for Earth, for the environment, for humanity, used for reasons that could lead to things like holes in the space-time continuum. So again, this show is trying to, in a Sex and the City meets the Matrix kind of way, show that science, spirituality, all these kind of things all really come together. We all use different terminology, but the idea is to show that the kind of big picture is something that we all are going to be awakening to and learning about, because it affects all of us. And truly, our light bodies and that open heart center that you talked about, the high heart, that is really our own ability to create on our own natural portals. And that's how we, travel through the astral plane. And so, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with all of that. But that was that's really trying to talk about how portals aren't always used for the greatest good of humanity.
See, now you guys have more knowledge. Yay. All right, we'll carry on because they want us to share more of this. Have fun, people.
They know that your DNA has been activated. And for those that have chosen dark paths, predictive programming, mind control, manipulation, and even death are all fair game.
Once you've been thrust down a rabbit hole that takes superpowers to escape, the secret ascension war raging below the surface of humanity's me existence forces you to forget everything you thought you knew to be true. Here's the truth they don't want us to know. That inner voice isn't ego. It's programming. Because Earth is a dark prison planet disguised as light. And they designed our lives to be complicated. But that's changing.
Isn't that fabulous, people? I mean, isn't that fabulous?
I love the ending because it makes me feel hope.
It made me feel that too, because I got lit up again. I got lit up again. Because it's so true. It's been complicated by design. It's like I talk to people and it's like, okay, I'll use me as an example again, right? Because it's always good to use personal examples. My father always told me you had to go to work to make money, right? But then I became a psychic medium, whatever I am now, and I can do a lot of my work from home, right? So I don't actually physically have to go anywhere, but the mentality that I was taught that I physically had to go somewhere, right? Even though that wasn't a true reality or whatever. So now it's like we are creators of what we want it to be, right? So I'm working from home. I'm happily working from home. You know what I mean? So, and it's all about us all expanding each other, right? This is about breaking out of that programming, right? Whether it was taught from my father, the government, my religious background, whatever, you know what I mean? It's about us breaking through that, connecting into who our higher self is, because there was one point when he said, now that you've kind of figured it out, I forget what the exact words he said towards the end there, you know what I mean? Now that you get a bigger picture, and sometimes that truth really hurts, right? That truth, that reality, that information that we just learned that we didn't believe to be true, but then turns out to be true, sometimes is very, very crushing, right? Because we believe something so strongly that was not true. And then we're like, how did we do that? That's why I say use discernment, right? This is a word Deeia and I use a lot. We're like, well, discern into that. It's like, what does that feel like to you? Use your higher heart to feel into that. Does that feel like it's your truth, or does it feel like it's bogus? You know what I mean? Because the feelings, right? Don't you feel them now? And don't the feelings come on even more intense now?
Are you asking me, or are you asking?
I am asking you, and I'm asking everybody else out there too. I'm going to read some comments here in a minute.
Yes, I'll use the same real estate example. We had an opportunity to sign this contract twice, and first time I felt it, and it just something about it didn't feel right. So we put back, what changes we would like to see in it. And then it came back a second time, and it just still didn't sit well with me. Do you know what I mean? it was so one-sided. And so, yeah, I think you use your discernment, whether that's your knowledge that you've learned, whether that's research that you do and you learn more about a topic, about contracts, whatever, or just that innate feeling that you have, that you trust your gut instinct or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Woo! I tell you what, I get chills every time too. All right. Hope said, hey there, ladies. Hey, Hope. Glad you could join us too. Hi, Barbara. Glad you could join us from California today. You sent that message at 1:11. That's awesome. Ricardo Riviera said, hello, Deeia and Melissa. Can't wait to start shooting this show. So important on so many levels.
Hi, Rick.
100% agree.
Rick played Dr. Theo, and he was the acting coach, and he's just absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I'm excited.
You play a great Dr. Theo. Oh, my God. Want to be my therapist? No, just kidding. You did great, though. You did great. I totally appreciate that. We can't wait for it to happen either. Your brother said people have been programmed to be so fake, so sad. And they have been programmed to be fake, right? I talk about that a lot too, like where we have to put on a certain mask to go into a certain situation and not be who we are, our authentic self, right? We've been taught not to be our authentic self. We carry around all these masks, right? No matter, we go into the bank, we will probably wear one mask. We go into our gym, we wear a different mask. You know what I mean? We go into the grocery store, we wear a different mask. And some of them can be similar, but they're all going to be a little different because you want to act differently in that situation or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like pretend in real life type thing. But anyways, we're breaking free from that.
Masks also relate to laws or anything that's hidden. Movies, almost every movie you watch, you'll see a checkerboard floor, a checkerboard pattern. And so when you start doing the research on that kind of programming, it comes back to checkerboard mutation, which has to do with duality, which has to do with division. So yeah, masking things is anything that's hidden. It's not just us. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's everything. Everything.
And it's all these things that we think is reality or we thought was truth. And the masks are starting to come out and we're starting to learn that, yeah, that is not truth, that we've been lied to, or we believed things that we chose to believe. We accept the responsibility for it still, but now we know it's not true. So we have the ability to move forward and change things accordingly.
We have the choice to change it.
We do.
We do. We always have the choice. Sometimes we forget that we still have that choice. Hope says it all. Thank you, Hope. We appreciate that. My cousin Johnny Parks is joining us today.
Hi, Johnny. What happened to Melissa?
Sorry, guys. I don't know what just happened, but apparently me saying hello to my cousin up in Connecticut totally knocked out everything that I was doing. Only this page, only the StreamYard page. I have 5 other pages that are still up, and it took me back to the beginning. No, you got me back, Johnny. You got me back. It's like energy. I've been able to do that this week. I've been like, blah, 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 and stuff's been happening. Energy is like on control. So Johnny said, bravo. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
He also said he loved the I can never say that. He loves the photography. He's into claymation. He does some cool stuff too. You guys check out my cousin Johnny on Facebook.
Well, Lady Hazel, who you mentioned earlier in the comments, you have to talk to her or thank her about the sizzle cinematography, and Max Jordan as well. He did camera, so.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys all hook up with each other out there. It's about us building these new communities worldwide. We're all coming together. Again, they're showing me like goosebumps, goosebumps, goosebumps. Oh my God. Amanda says chills every time, and I've seen it more than anyone. Haha. I bet you have. I might be a second one behind you, Amanda, because I watch it quite often. I'm like, I gotta hear that again. It lights me up. Catsman069, I would love to share an incredible story with the group. I've been a risk management and cybersecurity professional for 20 years, fighting a digital soldier on the front line since 2008. Send me an email. Go on my website, send me an email. Let's talk. Woohoo! Okay, and you guys all saw that I came back. The energy sometimes it was weird that it only flipped out that one page. You know what I mean? The one that I'm talking to all of you on. All the rest could stay. So whatever reason, that must have been too much for you guys all at once, or the internet. So you guys, does this bring up any questions, any thoughts, any feelings on what you've seen through the little sizzle? Anything like that?
I know Catsman was going to share, I'm sure. He contacted me several months ago that the sizzle really helped him when he was at a very, dark, low place in his life. And so it has kind of helped bring him back onto his spiritual path, which is amazing. So when we get back like that, oh my God, and I'm lit up. Woo!
Me too.
That is really, it's so powerful. I mean, not because we created it. It's just because you understand that energy, when you put that kind of love and that kind of energy out in a project, whether it's the cast, the crew, the writer, whoever, do you know what I mean? It has this way of rippling out and touching people's lives. And that is just absolutely amazing. So I hope we can continue to do more and more and more of that.
And we are going to be doing more and more of that, because I feel like that's part of what the growth is. That's part of what we all have going on right now. And it's so funny because they're showing me this beautiful meadow of all these different flowers growing, because we all grow together. You might be a rose, I might be a daisy today. You know what I mean? Or whatever. We have all these different flowers going on out there. So those two things, roses and daisies, mean something today. But anyways, those things are growing. We're all starting to grow more. And this growth is going through and us helping each other as we recognize what our truth is, because part of that growth is finding out what our truth is, right? Because we've come down here, we all signed up to come down to earth this lifetime, and I wish I kept my little checklist, of everything that we wanted to accomplish when we're coming down to earth. We checked off everything on the page, right? We didn't leave one box unchecked. We're like, we're doing it this time. We're over this. And that's why it's so hard for some of us sometimes. We feel like we're being squeezed. We feel like we're being locked up. And now it's like, okay, imagine that. Okay, they want you all to imagine this beautiful field, right? I've just gone out there with my beautiful tiller and I've tilled up all this beautiful new soil. You guys have all these new thoughts that are coming to you right now. We are planting these seeds together right now in this field together. And I'm getting lit up right now. So it's very important, whatever you're thinking, whatever positivity you have going on right now, that's what we're planting right now. We're planting from that positivity. And through that, we're going to help each other grow, because the sun's going to shine, the rain, and being neighborly to each other, because I'm going to be nice to the rose, even though I'm a daisy. Okay. Because I love roses, even though I'm a daisy. Okay. So it's like, there's going to be that love, and it's just going to flow, right? We're going to all feel this flow through the fields, right? And what does that do? It goes out and it touches all the trees, because some people want to be trees. They don't want to be flowers, right? And some people want to go out and they want to be rocks, because they don't want to be flat flowers or trees. You know what I mean? So just imagine that you are connected to each and everything on this earth energetically. Okay. Just don't forget that, people. Just don't forget that we are connected to everything. We are not just one little thing. We are like,
glad you brought up about the checklist, because in rewriting, kind of doing a reboot on all of this after we received a lot of feedback and comments from the sizzle over the last several months, I've incorporated a new character that's an ethereal elder. And that is all about sharing how we make those decisions prior to incarnations, and why kind of we're doing that. And I'm not writing it in a manner that I know the truth or I know better than anyone else. Absolutely not. It is simply things I have learned, things I've researched, and putting it out there and sharing it to open people's hearts and minds. And then they can do their own research, whether it's on programming, whether it's on mind control, whether they want to research sex trafficking, any of those type of topics that we talk about, spiritual things, whatever it is. We're not trying to tell anybody the exact truth. Do you know what I mean? We're just sharing the potential that there is so much bigger and that goes way beyond what we ever imagined.
Way more than we ever imagined, because our human mind, right? If we think about it, our human mind can only like see this far, right? But our spiritual self can see all of it, right? So it's like we have to get out of seeing just this much of it and start to observe all of it, farther than you can see and reach. Okay. So that's super duper important as we move forward too.
But
and Catsman, go ahead.
When we're in that me world, like you said, your father taught you, you got to get a job, you got to go to work, you got to, have kids, you do this. When it's all regimented and programmed, that's not conducive to it. That's all linear. We're talking quantum, we're talking massive, big, open. So sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's actually a good point. It just shows that we have to, it also helps change that way of thinking, that thought pattern, that programming, right? Because I always call it like you get stuck in like this same routine, right? And people get bored with life. Well, you're the only one that can change that routine and change what you're doing. You have to recognize it inside of yourself. So Catsman said, I was going through a health crisis. I opened up Twitter and the first post was Deeia's video, Complicated by Design. It literally changed my paradigm and saved my life. Now that's huge. That just shows that it was in the right place at the right time. That just shows everybody that everything will show up for you in the right time, in the divine time. We don't know when that divine time is, but that's beautiful. I am so lit up right now. I'm telling you what, wow. You know what I mean? So that's beautiful. And he says, I will contact you by phone to discuss, and I would love to get a reading. It's been quite an amazing journey since last October. Well, let's chit chat, my friend, and let's find out what we can do about that. Maybe it's time to bring you on so you can tell your story. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of amazing stories right now that they need to be sharing. Whether you are sharing it in the format that Deeiya is trying to share now, or you're writing a book, you're writing a blog, you're sharing your truth in any way, shape, or form. It could be artwork. It could be a piece of painting. It could be whatever it is. As long as you are doing that in your truth, it is going to produce the most amount of joy and happiness in your life. Because it's also about us finding that joy and happiness, right? Because I never understood why I hated, and I never really say that word, but I hate 9-to-5 jobs. I hate corporations, okay? I am not good with them. I am not good with rules and regulations and da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm the wing it girl. You know what I mean? I want to be able to do what I need to do when I need to do it. And no, you need to show up and you need to clock in by 9, and I've worked for people where it's more laid back. They're like family run businesses and they're so much better than corporations, right? Because they're more laid back. They don't have the rules and the structures. It's about getting rid of all those rules and structures. Okay. It's about getting rid of all those things that make your life harder than easier. It's about us making our lives easier moving forward as well, rather than harder. Okay, people? So how are you going to make your life easier? One, you're going to retrain your brain to start thinking positively, right? Just like in the beginning of Deeia's little sizzle there. Oh, I'm going to be late for work. I'm going to have to cancel my bank account. I'm going to my credit card's overdue, da-da-da-da, whatever. Oh my God, I just fought with my husband or whatever, all these thoughts that are going on in your head. I know a lot of you have no choice to work, but it's about, are you doing your joy? I know that you like numbers and stuff. So if you're involved in that, Linda, right now, then that's you following your joy. Not everyone's going to be like me. You know what I mean? And I still have to work. I just do it from home. I'm sitting in my house right now while I'm doing the show. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever it is for you. Some of those people love that 9-to-5 job. They love that stability. You know what I mean? That's what they're looking for. That brings them joy. So what I'm saying is, whatever it is that brings you joy, be doing more of that. Right, Deeiya?
Yes. And the people who are on 9-to-5 jobs, who are finding it joyful or whatever the case is, a lot of times they're there for a certain reason. Energetically, they're learning lessons, they're teaching lessons. There's just so many things, layers upon layers, that go into why we do what we do, who's doing what. So it's really important not to judge and just hold the space exactly. For everybody as they're going through this journey themselves. Yeah.
And that's just like I'm saying, Just because it's something that I don't like doesn't mean it's something that you don't like. I'm talking my truth. You have to honor whatever your truth is out there, right? Because I'm not here to tell you what your truth is. I'm here to help you, guide you to so you can find your truth a little bit, because sometimes it's behind, it's behind the big curtains and we have to like expose it, like the Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? Who's the big man behind the curtain? Oh, it's this little guy, with the big voice, and he's all scary, but he's really, not, and that's kind of how like our fears are, right? Our fears sometimes get like that. They're right. They get all big and scary, and really it's like this big, really, when we think about it. And once we take our control back from it, because fear is like a way of giving up our power and our control. And we're not supposed to do that anymore. God said 0 fear, right? So whatever that means for you. Woo! All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Believe it or not, we always have a choice. We always have a choice, right? That's something that's very important. Let's say talk about that again. Because we always have a choice, right? I can think back in my life, and boy, I could have made better choices in my life. Boy, what I know now in hindsight, right?
All of us, right?
I could have made better choices for myself, But at the time, I didn't know any better, okay? I didn't know any better. And that's just like all of you. You didn't know any better. We look back and go, yep, we should have done that. But you know what? We didn't. That's the choice we made then. We honor it. We go, all right, maybe it wasn't the best thing, or maybe it was a great choice. Whatever it is part of the journey to get us where we are today and where we are going into this new uncharted water that we are all a part of, that we are the creators of, right? No one is dictating to us inside our head anymore what needs to be happening. You guys are creating out of your own imagination, out of your own happiness, out of your own joy. Look at the goosebumps. They're all on my face again. You know what I mean? So feel that energy as we create all this beautiful stuff. All right, Catsman said 100%. I will share my story with friends and family across all social media platforms. The digital background. I have been awake for a long time, but was never truly spiritually awake until Deeia. Now that's awesome, right? For him to be spiritually awoken, right? To be awake, right? Let's say he was awake. He was recognizing all the corruption that was going on because he's a digital soldier. I'm assuming he's got a lot of information. You know what I mean? So now he was able to open up on another level besides the human level, right? He could see everything at the human level. This is what I'm feeling right now. This is partly a message for you right now, the cat's man. Okay. So it was like you being able to see that, and then being able to see there's a spiritual part was like this huge, beautiful, oh my God, it feels like a lotus flower. You know what I mean? But this huge, beautiful awakening for you to connect the rest of the dots, because you weren't able to put them all together until you had this piece. This was like that missing piece of the puzzle, right? It's trying to work outside of, they keep showing me it was the missing piece of the puzzle to put it all together for you. So the big puzzle made sense. I love it. I got goosebumps for you too.
That's awesome, because that makes me feel good that we bridged that gap in this sizzle between the truth seekers, the digital soldiers, like that world, and the more spiritual world, because we really are meant to come together to unify, because we're here all on the same path and journey. It's just we've come from different places, Yay! That's awesome.
And we're all on the same journey back home to where it is peace, right? So even though we may take detours along the way, or they feel like they're detours, but really home is our peace and in our heart. And all the answers really lie within us, not outside of us. We keep trying to seek them outside of us. Yes, and we all each have a piece, right? I carry my piece of the puzzle, and I'm giving my piece to all of you, right? Deeia's sharing her piece right now with all of you, to helps put the pieces together, right? Because we each connect with each other to bring part of the pieces to make more sense of all this. LL says the nature scenes in the sizzle felt so healing in contrast to all the darkness. Thanks for that. You're welcome. Thank them. They did a great job. Great job.
The idea of the two worlds that we were kind of showing was, her life in Greenwich, where she's a high-end designer and working with uber wealthy clients in that me world. And then her life once she, awakens and she leaves that world, and she is on a different path. So that's great.
I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Dr. Lauren Love says Toto was like, enough of this crap and open the curtain for them. Hee hee. That's right, right? So everyone's dog, open the curtains. The dogs know. Ask your dogs. They do. They have a lot of knowledge about what's really going on here if you tap into them. Catsman says, we are bridging worlds from tactically to spiritually. Yes, I love that. I love that. That needs to be a new saying. Let's make a shirt. Make a shirt that says that. I'm going to make a shirt. Oh, this has been a lot of fun. Have you guys enjoyed this kind of format today? I know I usually give a lot more messages, but the messages and the energies come through in just what we're saying. They could be coming through in that sunbeam that you see going down across Deeia's face right now and through the crown of her head. You know what I mean? And definitely check out Deeia's website, Complicated by Design. And you guys go like and subscribe to her YouTube channel, the little video that we just saw right now, and definitely put a little thumbs up on it because I feel like y'all liked it out there. And keep it in mind that this is going to be coming to a theater near you or the TV channel near you once we figure all those things out. Once Earth kind of figures out where they're going from this point forward as the old structures go, you know, kind of like that explosion yesterday with all those fireworks. Did anyone see that on the news yesterday where it was in Ontario, California? An explosion went off and all these fireworks were going off too. It was crazy. Okay, it was crazy. All right, woo, woo, woo. All right. Let's see. Catsman says, disaster, recover for the soul. That's right. Devin says, because of my sister and you, Melissa, my eyes and my soul have been open to many new choices I control. Wow. Look, Devin. Look at that. Look at that. That's for you, Devin. I am so lit up right now. Woo! You're going to make some beautiful changes, my man. Oh, and he meant to say recovery. Okay. And Dr. Lauren says, very cool format. Yeah, I felt like it was so important that I share this information and that we break it up like that a little bit, right? Because it's like it has a lot of energy and a lot of power. You know what I mean? I got to add this too. Bridget said, wow, Devin, with an exclamation point. She's proud of you, Dad. Look at how open your whole family's coming.
Dr. Lauren Love for, sponsoring you guys and just being a part of all of this. That's amazing too. So thank you. You know, we're all coming together and doing these great things and sharing in our own little ways. So thank you to everybody else who decided to log on today and who are even going to watch it afterwards.
Yes, we appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate the donations when they come in as well. And I thank Dr. Lauren Love and all her beautiful nurses, staff, technicians, everybody all the way down the line for being, our supporter this month and then the month of April for our shows. So thank you, Dr. Lauren Love. You rock, you rock, you rock. I love this stuff. The energy that's coming through right now, I want you guys to all feel this because, again, this is springtime. Okay, we're getting ready to move into spring is in just 3 days, right? It's March 20th this year. Not only did we just leap in time, right? Just last week, we just did that whole time change of that change time. And now here we are in this beautiful springtime. And what happens in spring? Spring is where that new growth really starts to come from. The sun is hotter and warmer. There's more rains that are going to bring April showers that bring the May flowers, depending on where you live. So just go with the flow of everything as we start to move through this springtime, because there's going to be a lot of shifting, changing. And if you keep your mind in the positive, you will not even believe where you will be a month from now. Okay. I'm serious. We're whoa, I feel like our superpowers are coming out right now, and whatever that means for you, right? Because they have so much energy coming out of my hands right now. They want me to hold it up for you guys, so that you guys can feel the energy that's flowing from me to you, from my heart to your heart. We are fully connected. Okay. We are fully connected in our highest and best selves as we weave this new fabric of love through Earth. Okay, we're weaving this new fabric of love through Earth, and they're lighting me up again. Okay, so I want you guys to vibrate and work in that love vibration. Even the people you don't like, send them love, send them love, send them love. Okay, the more you don't like them, the more love you got to send them. Okay, the more you don't like them, the more you got to send them. Okay, because you need to heal something that's going on in you. Okay. And by doing that, you're going to do that through love. Okay. Love is the most important vibration that we have on earth. It tells you the truth. It's honest with you. It tells you who you are, that love is inside of you. You were built out of love. When the sizzle talked about being the quantum computer and the high heart, or I forget how it was put, the brain, and it's like when I talk about the body getting put into like the transformer, your soul gets put in, everything goes on, you know what I mean? And look at Deeia right now. Oh my God, you guys, take a picture of that.
I can't.
Oh, I gotta get a picture of that. No shit. Okay. Because the lines going through you right now are crazy. Okay. Whoa. The energy, you guys. That's the love vibration. You see that? I can't even see her. She's just energy. That's what we're going to start looking like when we move forward. We're not going to see people as our bodies. We're going to recognize them as their energy. Do you guys love that? Do you guys see her right now? That is amazing. Deeia, is there anything else you'd like to add? We got about 4 minutes left, and I'd love for you to add anything else that we may have missed today.
Just thank you. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your support over the years, for sharing the video at the very beginning when, it wasn't meant to be shared, but I'm still grateful for that. I'm grateful for every single person who's watched it. I'm grateful for the feedback. I'm grateful to the people who helped and were part of the energy, that went into it, the cast and the crew, and, Amanda and Jerry, they're just all so amazing. And I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity to do this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's time.
She's gonna cry. She feels that. You guys feel that, right? She's talking from love.
It's time for this to go out there, to be put out there for everybody to see it and to take it, and whatever they get from it is meant for them, whatever resonates with them, whatever they, whether it affects someone like Catsman, or somebody may look at it and it may trigger them and they may hate it. That's okay too, because, that's part of our puzzle of learning what triggers us still. What do we need to still clear? What do we still need to work on? I've had people who tell me that, how can this be spiritual when there's, they felt fear in it. But to me, we're not presenting it as fear. We're not trying to create fear with it. We're trying to show it in a manner that is relatable, because we all go through that. We all have those dreams that are scary. We all have shadow work that we do. We all are confronted with truths that it hurts. Do you know what I mean? It's hard sometimes when you learn that, whether it's religion or your government or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? That you've been duped, you've been lied to. So the fact that this can go out there and hopefully bridge different communities, different people, whatever it does, I know that it's being done with passion from my heart. And basically, a higher power is working through me. So thank you for having me on the show and allowing me this opportunity. I love you.
I love you too. And it's my pleasure. And it's the guides and the angels that said, you need to have Deeia back on here. So it's about us listening and making the timing and all of it fall together. Amanda added something nice too. Meeting you changed my life, Deeia. Thank you many times over. So the amount that sometimes we don't even recognize how we've touched another person because they don't ever tell us. But now people are stepping up and saying, wow, what a difference you made in my life. They don't keep that as private information anymore. That's about us being our authentic selves. This is about us sharing that love vibration. So thank you, Amanda, for coming into her life as well, because you've come into mine as well, because we're all connected. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. And Linnell jumped in and said, sun above, shiny bright, replay for me. Thank you all. No, thank you. Definitely check out the replay. It's awesome. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with anyone that might help them right now understand what's going on in life and give them maybe a new way to understand what's going on in life. Okay. So that's pretty much, I'm going to wrap up my show today. And let's see, I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. I do not. So I will see you guys next week. You guys have a happy spring. I'll see you in spring. We're almost there. Winter's almost done. The dark winter's over. We're going to have brighter days, right? Look how bright it is there, Deeya. You're like, wait till I send you the picture so you can see it.
You're burning over. It's awesome.
It's beautiful. So you guys have a marvelous week, and I'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Love you.
This month broadcasting is sponsored by ICU Dr. Lauren Love, ICU nurses, technicians, and staff in the Boston area hospitals.